This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Shalom laha alahayim, nawathan, kal halalim la, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Hakodash. Peace to the gods, giving all praises to He exists, in the name of He delivers, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right. The set apart spirit, if I'm going to break it down like that, right? Double honors unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the head elders of all the camps of Great Millstone, GMS, who do well, who I've learned this 100% truth from, who are the true leaders of all Israel today. And you can clearly see that. All right. Salutations, peace, and blessings to the Bayat Dawayad, the house of David, the predestined spirits of election, starting with the governing body in the kingdom to come, the co-heirs of Yahweh Shai, the 144,000, 12,000 men of each tribe of Yasha Allah, of Israel, the prince is of power, as well as the remaining 1/3, the remnant, okay, of men, women, and children who are rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of their ability. This is your brother Tazapanya Banyamyan of the Sons of Yasha Allah camp out here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Adawan Lord willing. This is edifying, short, sweet, straight to the point. All right. In the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Let's get right into it, man. So as you see, I read Isaiah chapter 55 and 11. And this shows you the Bible. Matter of fact, I'm going to get one more scripture. And I think it is in Isaiah too. This is Isaiah 34 and 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. And that's the spirit, because it goes right along with Isaiah 55 and 11. It says, none shall want her mate, for my mouth that hath commanded, and his spirit that hath gathered them. You see? So what's not going to fail? His word, the prophecies, just like in Isaiah 55 and 11. It's not going to return them to him void. All right? None shall want a mate. You cannot link up this book of prophecies of history of the Israelites with no other book, because it is the word of the Lord. All right? It is the spirit of Yahweh Shai. All right? Yahweh Shai is written in the volume of the book. You see? And remember, the spirit, the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. You see? So, listen, the Bible is speaking, man. And I'm going to get Habakkuk too, since I just said that. But I'm going to let this play out, and we're going to see that the Bible is official tissue, man. It's the scriptures is the real deal Holyfield. All right? It's literally these prophecies is popping like popcorn. All right, so without further ado, let's get it.
They're part of the larger globalist elite that wants to transform us into sedated sheep. You know, they want to degrade the concept of a human being with a living soul and adopt the atheistic sort of materialistic approach to dealing with people as fungible products or commodities, things that are meaningless in and of themselves that can be employed as they see fit. This kind of Trotskyite logic and thinking was the origin behind the Comintern. And we've become a kind of 21st century version of the same thing. No, you're absolutely right. We are sowing the seeds of discord everywhere we possibly can. Now, can all of these come together and result in a global catastrophe? I suppose it's possible. It's never impossible. But there are a few differences that need to be noted. In 1914, when we saw the First World War break out, all of the major participants were already primed for some sort of conflict. They all underestimated its dangers and its destructiveness, but they were all ready to pounce. They were already in the launch mode. It didn't take much to cause it. In fact, Gavrilo Princip, the man that the Archduke said after he was captured, even if I had never been there and never shot the Archduke, eventually this war was going to happen. Well, there's some truth to that. But what you have is the slow burn today that takes months and years versus the month or so that elapsed between 28 June and the end of July, 1, 2, 3, 4 August. In other words, everyone did not instantly pull the trigger. It took a succession of events.
And that's that gradualism. This is why we tell you, well, this is why Yahweh Shah said to watch and pray. So again, things is going to happen in its time. Let's go and get and it's happening quickly, actually. All right, let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, see, that's the succession of events. Part of the signs, so this part gotta come, then that part gotta come, so on and so forth. It says, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. You see?
We'll take that same sort of choreography and apply it to the world today. We're not going to see World War III break out this week or next week. It's going to take a few months. I think by April, May timeframe, all the pieces will be in place.
Now notice, and this is crazy because he's an insider, a military insider. You see what I'm saying? And we believe, honestly, the third war was here. You feel me? And it's going to step up another notch, like he said, by the time April, May comes. All right. But we know the missiles ain't going to fly those hypersonic thermonuclear equipped multiple warhead intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're not going to destroy America and turn it to a lake of fire, as is prophesied in the book of Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezra, Revelation, so on and so forth. All right, until the MOTB, the mark of the BEAST, which is the RFID CHIP, is globally mandated, punishable by death. Okay.
And whoever is not involved in the region or externally will become involved.
So notice, you see that right there? So that's the Most High gathering all nations to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. Let's get that real quick, because I know exactly where it's at. Let's go to the book of Joel. All right. Chapter 3. Okay. Verse 2, it says, And I will gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat. All right. That is the Arabian desert, your Levant region, your cradle civilization, your Mesopotamia, your Persian Gulf, your Western Asia, your Fertile Crescent, all right, all similar, okay, and will bring them down to the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my judge. Plead means to judge, for my people. Who are the people? The Israelites, and for my heritage Israel, see, whom they have scattered among the nations in part of my land. So this is all because of what they have done to the apple of the Most High's eye, the Israelites.
Remember, Russia is closely aligned with Iran. The Russians are not going to allow Iran to be destroyed. By the way, if Turkey entered this fight, the Russians would not allow Turkey to be destroyed.
Did you just see that? Now, this guy is not a theologian. He's a secular military strategist. And yet, what he's saying is literally in the Bible. This is what the Most High's word will not go out void. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. And it's specific that he noted Turkey and Iran. He said that, let's play it again, because that's the real reason why I started this doing this video right now.
Closely aligned with Iran. The Russians are not going to allow Iran to be destroyed.
The Russians are not going to allow Iran to be destroyed.
By the way, if Turkey entered this fight, the Russians would not allow Turkey to be destroyed.
If the Russians not going to allow Turkey to be destroyed. Let's go to Ezekiel 38. I'm going to get straight to the point, because we all know about Ezekiel 38, talking about Gog and Magog, right? Verse 5. Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, the Cushites, Libya, which is Puwat, all right, or in the the modern Hebrew Put, which is the northern African tribes, so to speak. With them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters. That is Turkey. Okay? You look at an ancient map. Remember, Elder Pastor said you got to get into the maps, man. All right? This is the same exact place where Asia Minor, all right, or Turkey, modern day Turkey, is at today. Gomer and all of his bands in the house of Togarmah, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Verse 7, here's the point. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. You see? So this man who is not a theologian, does not know prophecy, however, what he's saying is lining exactly up with prophecy. Doesn't the scripture say, let's go get it? What is that? Psalms 64 and 8, and it reads, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. See, so what they're saying is literally giving up the script of how the Most High is doing it, and we are verifying it through the scriptures as prophets of the Lord. All right, Russia's not going to let Iran nor Turkey be destroyed, because the Most High said he's going to have Russia to be a guard unto them. He's going to put hooks in their jaws. You see, you can't make this shit up.
The interesting thing is that Russia and China seem to be very concerned about preserving the international system. We seem hell-bent to destroy it. And yet we're the people that talk about, the rule-based order. What rules? Whatever we say is the rule. Whatever we say, you do. That's all. It's all hypocritical nonsense. It's meaningless nonsense.
Notice it just said it's all hypocritical nonsense. Hypocritical. Let's type that in. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and 6. It says, I will send him against an hypocritical nation. All right. Now, this is talking about Israel, because Israel in the ancient days and now, all right, was talking about you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, was claiming to be worshiping Yahweh, but was really secretly trying to worship all these other gods. The same thing with Jake right now, trying to worship Allah, trying to worship Jesus Christ, so on and so forth. But we can now use it in these times for Esau, Edom, man. And where they actually are trying to rule out of the sides of the north, here in North America, Babylon the Great. All right. So Babylon is a hypocritical nation, right? They put the statues in their mouth. All right. They try to claim that they're upon Judeo-Christendom and morals, of the Bible, which they're not, obviously. And it says, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire in the streets. Now look what's going on with the border. And he just talked about that. America's about to be a spoil to all these nations that they're letting into this place, man. And ultimately the spoil gonna come from the missiles.
The facade. We're not even enforcing our own laws inside the United States. We're rewarding criminals for their criminal behavior. We're putting policemen in jail. Policemen are afraid to enforce the law. We won't defend our borders. We now have a president who wants to commit federal forces against Texas and anyone else that challenges the right of his party, his administration, the swamp. Just put it all together to open our borders and flood us with millions of people that we did not invite. We can't use, we can't assimilate, we can't put to work. And everybody talks about, well, our economy is growing. It's government spending. We are not growing. Our economy is weak. That's the point. And our financial position has never been more fragile. And it's only a matter of time until the world holds a fire sale on our treasuries. Look, we are going to take $300 billion in assets that are Russian and illegally seize those and turn those monies or assets over to Ukraine, this criminal regime in Kiev that's our puppet led by Zelensky. Now let's stop and think about that. If you watch this, if you're India, if you're China, if you're Saudi Arabia, pick your country, Brazil, Argentina, anywhere. Why would you want to hold U.S. treasuries? How do you know the rug's not going to be pulled out from under you the way we are pulling it out from under Russia? they're going to start offloading our treasuries. And remember, most of these were purchased when they were at 0% interest.
And that's the point, because I was just about to bring that. So these other countries buy the world reserve currencies, treasuries, and bonds and things of that nature, thinking that they're going to make some type of profit on the long-term end so that they could sustain the citizens of their country. And it all goes back to the evil and righteous decrees with the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the Bank of International Settlements, all these central banks, all owned by the international banking families, the Amalekites, the tribe of Amalek of the house of Edom. All right, the so-called Caucasian race, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And these countries think that they're going to trust them. But they are seeing, this is why the whole, Project Sandman, is it, if I'm not mistaken, all right, when they're all going to dump all these treasuries because they're at a higher interest rate, because the Fed keeps increasing the interest rate. So there's no point of holding it. And if they all drop it, that means all this money is going to come back and flood America, which is going to cause hyperinflation, which our elders and apostles, starting with Tahar on down, have been talking about, which is in the scriptures, Revelation 6:6, if I'm not mistaken. All right, for one measure of wheat for a penny and one measure of barley for a penny, which goes back into an ancient Roman soldier's day's wage, man. All right, you see what I'm saying? So I like to use, because like a whole wheat bread, right? A measure, let's just say a loaf of wheat bread, all right, is going to cost you a day's wage of money. Let's say you make $20 an hour. You work for 8 hours. That's $200, no tax. Imagine 150, let's just say $100 for a loaf of bread. What about barley? They use barley to make liquor and this, that, and the third. Imagine getting a fifth from the liquor store, and it's costing something that was used to costing what 10, 20, like let's say $20 of the cheaper end of liquor, man. Now it's $200. You see what I'm saying? This thing is about to crack. It's about to crack, and niggas ain't gonna be ready. But the men and those of their household, Lord willing, according to the will of Yahweh Shah, that have the covering, you see what I'm saying? That's those that are going to be good. My servants shall eat, but they shall be hungry. My servants shall drink, but they shall be thirsty, as the scripture says.
So these things are of very little value to them anymore. It's a losing proposition. But that cascading effect overseas is also going to be felt here, because our banks own the same toxic treasuries that are now have no real value. They are a burden, not an asset, but they can't sell them.
Wait. Doesn't that say in James 5? Elder Apostle Rhyme Love like to bring that out all the time regarding verse. Let's just go to verse 2. It says, your riches are corrupted. See, the treasuries are toxic. They holding on to it too, and when they bought it, it was at a 0% interest. Now the interest is high. You see what I'm saying? So it's all corrupted, man. You're not making no bread off of it. It says your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and your silver is cankered. No, in the NLT, it says your gold and silver have become worthless. The very wealth you were counting on will eat away your flesh like fire, man. You see, man, you can't make this shit up. The Most High's word not going to go out void, man. It's going to accomplish that which he please.
What happens to us? We're just walking into a giant bear trap. That's the point.
Whoa.
What do we say?
We're walking in to a giant bear trap. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. We all know. Oh no, Revelation. Yeah, that's the spirit. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 2, and it reads, and the beast, all right, which is NATO, EU, modern day time, which I saw, was like unto a leopard, okay, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. And remember, with Alexander the Great, all right, and Alexander the Macedonian, Salakia, he wasn't nothing great about him. He brought wickedness into the earth regarding, what is that, First Maccabees, chapter 1, if I'm not mistaken. All right, that was the first of Esau's empire, you see? And it says, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. So Russia is going to be the closing end, what is going to take down this NATO, European Union, and America, right? And his mouth was as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Happened. Well, we're seeing something very tragic. National Guardsmen, just like soldiers in the regular army, are all sworn to uphold the Constitution and to protect the American people. And we're actually talking about a situation where conceivably this president could order federal forces to intervene against guardsmen on the border with Texas in order to,
the scriptures say, Egyptian versus Egyptian,
open the border to millions more people about whom we know nothing, and many of whom probably present a clear and present danger to our country and to our society. What is wrong?
The scriptures in Jeremiah, I think it's 51, it says, I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars.
This is not something that the U.S. Army and the National Guard should have to confront. These people serve the same flag. You know, it's no surprise that soldiers being interviewed, these are regular Army soldiers at various Army posts, including Fort Hood, which is now Fort Cavazos, are saying, I'm not going to do it. You know, I agree with the National Guard. We should protect the country. Some of them have said, well, I'll go over to the Guard. Well, that's punishable under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It would be very sad if something like that happened and we were prosecuting soldiers who have sworn to protect the country for not committing treason. Because arguably, when you look at what this administration is being done, it looks increasingly a lot like treason. Why would you subject your country to this? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you subject your people to this? I was talking to some people recently that had lost their jobs. You know, it's a bad economy, but in some cases,
and there shall be no more work in Egypt.
People had lost their jobs because their jobs had gone to illegals. Well, gee, what a surprise. The illegal will work for less. And then we have to listen to people working for the New York Times or the Washington Post or the Wall Street Journal pour buckets of filth and abuse all over American citizens to say, wow, gee, we should be grateful for all these illegals. They're better people. They'll work. Americans won't. Well, Americans want a living wage. Don't they deserve it? But unfortunately, the American people are an afterthought. And oh, by the way, we need to bomb Iran. Insane. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Is the United States militarily prepared, naval, air, ground, to wage an invasion of Iran?
No, certainly not. I mean, our ground force is in ruins. You know, and I don't think that anybody in Washington deludes themselves into believing that they could order a mobilization of the country using a draft in order to fight Iran.
Using a draft. A draft is coming. We've been telling you that.
That's just not going to happen. So I think, sadly, what we're up against right now is this assumption that ships at sea and aircraft in the air, by delivering long-range strikes, are going to change things in Iran. They'll change things. They'll make the place infinitely more dangerous and hostile to us. And Iran will have an inexhaustible supply of allies to help it. But it's certainly not going to induce change in Iranian behavior towards us. In other words, we're not going to bomb anybody into submission. That's absurd. That will not happen.
Why do Western governments seek justification through war, Colonel?
Well, I think, again, the use of long-range strike weapons is similar to without consequences. But we know that unless you use it, you're going to have problems if you have with somebody. Well, the same thing is true in war. If you're bombing or striking with missiles or anything else, first of all, you have to have a very large supply of bombs and missiles. I don't think our supplies are really adequate right now. We've expended vast quantities, and reproducing more missiles, Tomahawk missiles and other strike missiles, quickly is extremely difficult. We have no surge capacity. We can't rapidly ramp up and provide more. Ships have to go back to port to reload. Submarines do not, at least not for a while, because they tend to carry more but eventually they too will have to go to a protected port facility to reload. So you can't sustain this kind of damage for a long time without having to pause. Whenever you pause, of course, your adversary adjusts. And I think, again, the adversary has far, far more strike weapons at its disposal than we do. They have thousands of missiles ready to go. And those are precise, and they're going to hit us. Again, the problem is that
and that's scriptural too. You see what I'm saying? The scriptures say that they, in Joel, I think it's chapter 2 or chapter 1, that those horsemen, talking about the missiles, shall not move from their rank. All right, they're going to go exactly where the Most High wants them to go, because the Spirit is going to control the destination of those missiles.
Is stuck in 1991, but we are not in 1991. This is 2024. Our arsenal is considerably smaller. The numbers of forces at our disposal.
And I'm gonna pretty much leave it at there. So notice, he was like, "Yo, we're not 1991. This is not 1991 America. This is 2024. America is not this great. Everybody, yeah, America, we got the greatest military." It kind of remind me like of Gabar Howard out there in the Hawaii branch of Great Millstone, the elder. You see what I'm saying? And he was like, "Yo, these 1992 Israelites." You see what I'm saying? This truth is, we in 2024, man. You see what I'm saying? You know, just wanted to throw that in there. But I'm gonna answer this real quick, and I'm gonna leave it off. I don't know who this is. It's Luigi Pinto or whatever. Brother, do you think it is best to leave the U.S.? I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do and what the prophet's gonna do. The ones that live here in America, Babylon the Great. All right. First and foremost, the scriptures say that he's not going to suffer us to dwell in Egypt no more in Second Esdras. So we have faith. You feel me? The just shall live by his faith. So when the scriptures say he's going to deliver all the Israelites out of all the places that he scattered them, he scattered all 12 tribes in the majority here in Babylon the Great. You see, we believe that we are going to be saved if we can give diligence and make our calling and election sure through the chariots of the Most High right here in America. This is Wisdom Solomon 5 verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him. Esau Edom has afflicted the Israelites no more greater than right here in America the Great. You see, so we have work to do, and it ain't going to be done until we get that say so, man. Really, when Jacob's trouble is at a full climax, when this MOTB is pushed. You see what I'm saying? So I don't, whatever a brother want to do, whatever. You see what I'm saying? They want to, we not leaving. We doing the work. We know this place is going to get destroyed, and Lord willing, we have the elect to get delivered as it gets destroyed, to show our faith by our works, man. You see what I'm saying? So, this thing is a thing of faith. But with that, I'm going to say Brakatay. How Brakatay? Sean, to the next time. Shalom.